Hey everyone, this is Dennis Semecker from the Daily Dot, and today we're talking about Battleborn, the new first-person shooter from Gearbox Software. Battleborn is actually a first-person shooter, tower defense, multiplayer online battle arena game, and if that sounds dense, it means I've done a good job of describing Battleborn to you. Gearbox has created a multi-layered shooter and given us a lot to unpack here. Battleborn takes place in a science fiction universe where a race of aliens are trying to extinguish every star in the galaxy. The Battleborn are a group of warriors drawn from all the surviving races and militaries who've so far survived the apocalypse, and they've banded together to try and save the last remaining star. Each Battleborn is a character defined by their weapon and their abilities. Some Battleborn excel at damage dealing, others are stealth classes, some are good at absorbing damage, and others are healers. There are 25 Battleborn in all, and part of the fun of this game is learning how to play each Battleborn character effectively. Each Battleborn levels up using what's called a helix system, a series of binary choices where you can stress one of your Battleborn's two special abilities. So my favorite Battleborn, a soldier named Oscar Mike, can be turned into a frontline assault trooper or a stealthy tactical marksman. Each time I level up, I get to make one choice from Oscar Mike's helix system, and because I begin every story mission and multiplayer match at level 1, that means I get to experiment freely and often with how I want to build Oscar Mike and what style I want to play him as. While Battleborn's story campaign looks and plays a lot like Borderlands, the 8 story missions in Battleborn can be played out of order. There is an end to the story, but each mission makes sense in and of itself. Story missions ultimately feel more about learning how the different Battleborn play and earning experience points for them to unlock their abilities, and to get ready for the multiplayer modes. There are 3 types of multiplayer matches in Battleborn. Capture is like your typical domination type mode where you control 3 different points on the map to win. If you're a first-person shooter fan, you probably know the type of game we're talking about. You can also build turrets and defensive emplacements in capture mode, so that's where the tower defense elements start to come into play.
Incursion. Fight your way through waves of minions and defeat the enemy's sentries.
In incursion mode, the minions help destroy an objective at the other team's base. In meltdown mode, you earn points by escorting your minions into these giant incinerators. And in both game modes then, your job is to escort your minions safely while destroying the other team's minions. And you also spend time killing other players, and you can build turrets and defensive emplacements just like in capture mode, so there are lots of ways to earn experience and level up your Battleborn when you're playing either incursion or meltdown. The problem is whether or not you want to spend a lot of time doing this without other people to play the game with. In story missions, your party shares a single pool of extra lives. That means if someone's playing Lone Wolf and playing like an idiot and getting killed a lot, they drain everyone else's respawns, and that can lead to disaster. You therefore might not want to play the story missions with random players that you meet online. The multiplayer modes are extremely chaotic.
Outcast thralls available for hire.
You really need to coordinate your team to be effective. You might be willing to brave the wilds of open party chat, but I'm not willing to risk the sort of verbal abuse I can find when I play online with total strangers. Again, part of the long-term fun of playing Battleborn is unlocking all the characters and learning how to play them. Doing that means you're going to have to play a whole lot of story missions and a lot of multiplayer matches, and if you're playing these with random people you meet online, this could get really frustrating. I'm usually not concerned when a shooter isn't as friendly to solo players as I'd like. More shooters than not have a single-player campaign that at least tries to tell an epic story, and has multiplayer components that have deathmatch modes in which a solo player can undoubtedly make a difference. But Battleborn is about team play all the time, so whether or not you should play Battleborn might really come down to how many friends you have to play it with. And if you've got 4 other people willing to jump into Battleborn and stick around for the long haul, the 5 of you will probably have a ton of fun for quite a while. Otherwise, you have to ask yourself how much frustration you're willing to put up with, because you're going to have to play with randos if you want to experience everything that Battleborn has to offer if you don't have friends to play the game with. Battleborn is available for PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One.